everyone, and welcome back to the program. I'm sitting here with Patrick. Patrick, thank you so much for being part of the program today.
Yeah, thank you, Miguel. It's an honor to be here today. I'm very excited to do this with you today.
Yes, sir. For those who are not familiar with the work you're doing, let them know about yourself.
Yeah, so first and foremost, as Miguel mentioned, I'm Patrick. I'm hailing from Toronto, Canada, up at the north border, or depending on where you are. I am a men's personal development coach, and that's my aim to help men become the best version of themselves.
You and I actually met while I was in Canada recently. And I remember hearing your story and I was impacted because you shared so profoundly, where you actually came to the understanding that you had some limitations, some learning disabilities. Share a little bit about that story, because I think so many individuals that are listening can resonate with finding this out, but then finding your voice through that.
Yes, absolutely. I'll share that part of that story. It's pretty long, but I'll keep it like very as detailed as possibly can. So keeping it there. It started when I was 5 years old. I was diagnosed with a learning disability, in which I was going through a lot of different tests and everything else as a kid, which I didn't know at the time. It was important for me to go through that. And then until then, I was placed in those classes, which at that time I didn't realize how much of impact that created me. And then that impact has carried me through every single year, leading to grade school, high school. And then I knew that from high school, I needed to really make sure that I'm free from this label, because I knew I had so much in me to really give. And I fully understood that in order for me to keep leveling up, I really need to be away from my past. But also at the same time, I need to learn how to acknowledge how to move forward with this emotion trauma, which I noticed I accumulated up to near my late 30s, because I didn't know how to navigate that, and I didn't realize how much it has really held me back in terms of what I could have done much better in resolving very common issues I had with, let's say, with family, or in my many friendships and relationships that I have with people. And I noticed there are times where I did the other property, which I've done better. But at the same time, there's no excuse for me to know that I can learn from my past and be a better person now. So it's just me now sharing my story to those with the similar concept I had, to really know that they can achieve success and really go through all of these life navigations where you have role models like myself and have people who have been there, and knowing that whatever you choose to do, there's a lot of ways how to navigate it, and also understand that there's limitless possibilities that you can make things happen for yourself.
People that are going through and discovering these areas of themselves to discover, we talk a lot about becoming a better person, but the discovery process of, man, I was limiting myself, like you said, right? I didn't realize it. Sometimes that can be just so hard for that person that's just coming through on the discovery side of things. What strategy could you provide them to push forward? Yeah, you came to the realization that maybe you were limiting yourself, but now that you realize that, what strategy could they implement to move forward?
I would say the best strategy is to really volunteer for any opportunity that comes your way. It could be even speaking more on stages, or it could be just volunteering for any kind of volunteer work, whether it could be be involved in planning on events, or taking on a small leadership role, and then from there just keep building up there. Because then you will never know what you have done, in which I have been thankful for, that I have been more let's say proactive in my decision making of being active in sports and volunteer work, and in which I'm thankful for having that, because then I would see these different skill sets and assets that I didn't realize I had. And it was just taking that chance on myself to really step forward. And even though I could have not done better, or I did a great job, it's a matter of stepping in that zone and just really thinking, what if I haven't done it? What if I start anything? And really knowing that just saying yes to almost everything. I wouldn't say yes to everything, because obviously you need to calculate your current situation and seeing whether your resources and your own self can handle more, which also I can add to that as well. That it's as much as opportunities are great, you really got you really got to consider what is your maximum limit, and making sure that you're not digging yourself a hole, which I've done so many times, and I finally learned that later on. So it's really understanding that part and making the best strategy for you.
That's awesome, right? And I agree with that, with putting yourself out there and being willing to give and being willing to discover those sides of yourself. At the beginning of the year, most often people are eager to learn those sides and learn the talents they have. In fact, in the beginning of the year, most individuals set either a goal, a New Year's resolution, or they establish one word, and this one word guides everything they're going to do for the rest of the year. So, where do you find yourself more? Do you lean more towards establishing New Year's resolutions, or do you establish a one word?
Hmm. This may be out of contrary belief that I may say now. Neither. I would say it's more just building on what I built since I developed these goals. For me personally, I never believe in one word or anything like that, because then we forget. That's human nature for me. And even resolutions, I've noticed out of the ones I've done every year, I've only finished one, and not like a 10 or 15. So I knew by setting goals that year and just build upon it, that's just how I do it. And then once I know, so okay, I'm progressing to that bigger goal, because I intentionally broke it down to like smaller goals, so I know that okay, there's no way for me to do that work, because I can track the whole year of what I can work on and what's next. So that's a whole different kind of talk there. But yeah, I would say goal setting is the most important thing. I would say just don't look at the end of the year. Just really look at, let's say, like when that last month comes, you really can like just observe from January to then, and then just as you go, just really hammer down before the year. So then when that new year comes, you're ready to like really hammer down and just go at it.
So, when it comes to setting New Year's resolutions or one word, you're more on building momentum and going
Mm-hmm.
month by month to where you want to get to.
That's right.
So, now I understand you don't establish one word for your year, but if you were to establish one word which would encompass your life's work and all the things you've accomplished and are doing, what would
Mm-hmm.
that one word be?
It's really give some thought. I would say uh, perseverance. That's a very key word. That word has been used for so many years. That's been my, let's say, my catchphrase, or uh, my bait I use for everything everything I go for. But because that has been my life through my life, I persevered through every challenge and every obstacle I had and every trial and tribulation I went through. So it's really made it just really, because I literally have it on my wall. I literally hang it on my wall and look at it. Perseverance. And I was like, okay. I always tell myself what other worst things that could happen to me or people around me. So it's really, really be in those shoes of myself and people that okay, I'm blessed to be here, but at the same time, I gotta make every opportunity count.
Powerful. Patrick, for those who are connected and want to get connected with you, how could they do so?
Sure. So I have Facebook, and it's my full name, Patrick Richard Garcia. That's my full name. And I'm mostly the guy with the fedora hat. So if you find a fedora hat, that's me. That's my brand. And for Instagram, it is at Canfill _ Patrick R. Garcia. That's my Instagram.
Awesome. And of course, we'll add all of those details to the show no links to make it super easy to those who are connected here today. Patrick, thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you. Appreciate you all.